What's the heartbeat of the Philadelphia Eagles offense right now? That's the question echoing through Lincoln Financial Field and all across the city of brotherly love. The Birds are sitting pretty at 3-0, undefeated, still soaring atop the NFC. But fans can feel it. Something's just a little bit off. The ground game, the very engine that powered this team through last season, hasn't been hitting with the same thunder. And in the center of that storm stands Saquon Barkley, the superstar running back, and his offensive architect, coordinator Kevin Patullo. With a massive clash against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looming this Sunday, the spotlight has never burned brighter. Let's break it down. Despite that perfect start, Barkley's numbers have raised eyebrows. Through 3 weeks, he's averaging just 3.3 yards per carry, ranking him 27th among qualifying NFL running backs. That's a long way from the 5.6 yards per carry he was ripping off at this point last year, when he looked like the Barkley of old, the same guy who could turn a handoff into a highlight reel in the blink of an eye. Against the Los Angeles Rams, he managed only 46 yards on 18 carries. That's 2.5 yards a pop. To put it bluntly, that's tough sledding for a guy who's supposed to be the engine of this run-first scheme. But here's what makes Barkley such a compelling figure. He doesn't dodge the criticism. After the Rams game, he didn't point fingers at the offensive line or the scheme. Instead, he looked in the mirror. Obviously, we got to be better in the run game, and that starts with me, he said. That's classic Saquon, team first, accountable, but you can hear the frustration beneath the humility. He knows he hasn't looked like the unstoppable force we saw in 2024. So what's the real issue? Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, isn't panicking. In fact, he addressed the concerns head-on earlier this week. We're getting different things this year than we got in the past, Patullo explained. He was quick to defend Barkley, reminding everyone just how integral he is to the Eagles' success. And he's not wrong. Defenses are clearly selling out to stop Saquon. Safeties are cheating down into the box. Linebackers are shadowing his every move, daring quarterback Jalen Hurts to beat them with his arm. That changes the rhythm of the offense. Patullo's argument is that the big plays are still there, just waiting to break through. He even pointed to Barkley's 13-yard touchdown run against the Kansas City Chiefs as proof of what could be. If we were on the 50-yard line, that's a 50-yard touchdown, Patullo insisted. And he's got a point. Sometimes football comes down to inches, and Barkley's explosive potential hasn't gone anywhere. Now, let's zoom out for some context. The Eagles, historically, have always had a love affair with the run game. Think back to the days of Wilbert Montgomery, who powered the Birds to the 1980 Super Bowl, or Brian Westbrook, dazzling fans of his dual-threat brilliance in the 2000s. And of course, LaShawn Shady McCoy, juking defenders into the turf in the early 2010s. Saquon Barkley was brought in not just to add talent, but to revive that tradition of electrifying runners. After all, this is a franchise that believes in toughness, trench battles, and grinding out games on the ground. Yet, let's not forget, this team is still undefeated. Like a baseball club manufacturing runs without hitting home runs, the Eagles are finding different ways to win. Against the Rams, Barkley might not have broken a 50-yarder, but his gritty 4-yard carry on third down kept their comeback alive. That doesn't show up in fantasy football stats, but in real football, it's invaluable. The bigger picture here is about balance. Jalen Hurts has weapons in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, both capable of lighting up secondaries. Dallas Goedert remains a reliable target at tight end. The defense? Well, that unit doesn't just stop opponents. It scores points. We've already seen that pass rush, led by Josh Sweat and Jordan Davis, create chaos. So even with Barkley's slow start, the Eagles are proving they can win in multiple ways. Still, there's no denying it. A dominant Barkley changes everything. Imagine Hurts operating play action with defenders terrified of Saquon breaking free. That opens lanes for deep shots, stretches a field, and makes this offense virtually unstoppable. Now, let's take a quick detour into the fan perspective, because Philly fans are unlike any other. On Broad Street, in the diners, in the corner bars, the talk this week has been Barkley, Barkley, Barkley. One fan outside the link put it perfectly. Look, Saquon doesn't need to be Superman every week, but when we play Tampa, I want to see the cape come out. Spoken like a true Philadelphian, direct, demanding, but always hopeful. And Tampa Bay, let's not overlook them. They're 3-0 as well, and their defense is no joke. That front seven, anchored by Vita Vea, is designed to clog running lanes. Todd Bowles, their head coach, is a defensive mastermind who lives for these matchups. You can bet his strategy will be to put the clamps on Barkley and force Hurts to go aerial. That makes this Sunday a true chess match, power on power, strategy on strategy. So what's at stake? Well, in the short term, bragging rights in the NFC. Both teams want to send a message that they're the class of the conference. In the long term, it's about momentum. A big performance from Barkley could silence the doubters and reestablish the Eagles' offense as a two-headed monster, dangerous on the ground, lethal through the air. And if he doesn't, well, the Birds have shown they can still fly high without him hitting full throttle. Before we close, let's sprinkle in a bit of Eagles trivia. Did you know that the Eagles fight song, Fly Eagles Fly, first debuted in 1960? Back then, fans sang it with the same gusto we hear today after every touchdown. Imagine the link erupting in that chant after Barkley rips off a 40-yarder against Tampa. Goosebumps, right? That's the magic of Eagles football. So here's the bottom line. Saquon Barkley's slow start is real, and Kevin Patullo knows it. But this team is built on resilience. Whether it's Reggie White leading the defense in the 80s, Brian Dawkins igniting the crowd in the 2000s, or Nick Foles shocking the world with a Super Bowl MVP run in 2017, the Eagles have always thrived when their backs were against the wall. Barkley's story this season is still being written, and Chapter 4 could be the breakout fans are waiting for. This Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Eagles versus Buccaneers, two unbeaten teams, one huge stage. Will Barkley remind everyone why he's a superstar? Or will the Birds have to find another way to win? One thing's for sure, Philadelphia will be watching, hoping, and chanting Fly Eagles Fly all the way. And if you're an Eagles fan, don't go anywhere. Keep riding with us for all the latest updates, breakdowns, and emotional highs and lows that only this team can deliver.